Rue979 is in on Periscope. Hello to you. Also, Jake RKH in on Periscope right now. Lovely to see you there. Thank you for joining in. Just over 5 minutes until we go live with today's live stream, how to make radio jingles. How to make radio jingles, one of my favorite topics of all time. I absolutely love making radio jingles, so I'm going to have real fun with you today on this one. Hello there on YouTube as well. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, Vixum Designs, Martina, Kubikova. Is that right? Gameplay Magic's in. Joe Salmi's in. Hey, good morning, Vietnam. Love it. Ifeani's in as well. Hey to you. Good to see you back. Really, really cool. Cato Bell is here. Hey, hey, hey. Nice to see you here. I love your jokes. Thanks for all your posting in the community, by the way, Cato. Really, really, really interesting stuff going in there. Thornsk, hello. Quick survey of you on YouTube, or actually wherever you're watching right now, just before we go live, just between you and me, the pre-show lot. I'm really curious, could you let me know in the comments, because I'm doing a bit of a survey so I can improve and hopefully expand this community of audio lovers. Patrick's in, woo! And Alvaro, and Up the Veil as well, and Select Shots. So my question to you is, how are you getting notified that I'm going live? Can you just post it in the comments right now with your answer? How are you finding out? Apart from, obviously, if you know it's live at this time every day, then, yeah, that makes sense. But are you getting any notifications? And if so, how? Are you getting an email? Are you getting, like, a ping on your Google Plus bell? How do you know that I go live? I'm just really curious what YouTube and other platforms are doing to inform you that I have gone live. So, obviously, I don't get a notification myself because I'm not subscribed to my own channel. So if you could post that valuable information in the comments, it would really help. Who else have we got in? We got Luis Riviera. Hey, good morning. Looking forward to this one. It's going to be an awesome one. I can't wait for this one. Right, what have we got here? We got Barbara Allen's in. Hey, morning to you, Barbara. So you get a pop-up from YouTube, Joe. Notification on mobile. That's cool. I like that. Barbara gets an email. Patrick gets an email. I don't know why I'm looking at videos all the time. I don't even have a microphone. Well, it is high time you get a microphone. Audio Technica AT4033 ASM. YouTube sends me an email. I have a notification. YouTube email and Facebook too. Wow. Notification on mobile. That's so cool that... Okay, so my second question to you before the countdown begins is... what did you have to do to get those notifications? Are you just subscribed, or do you set reminders when you go to the YouTube channel? So do you have to click get reminder on each of my shows coming up, or is it just enough to be subscribed? Like, what are you doing to get those notifications? This is so helpful, by the way. Thank you so much. So we got Luis Riviera sends me an email. Up the Veil notification on my mobile. There's also a pop-up, says Barbara. Alvaro, in my screen is a notification like Google Plus. Oh, kind of like WhatsApp. That's cool. Thank you, Cato, for talking about Super Chat. Appreciate that. Dragon, hi from Serbia. Hello to you. Thank you for checking out the stream today. Notification on mobile from YouTube app, YouTube email. Happens to be same time every morning at about, 7:54 a.m. your time. Pop up on the phone. All of the above. Hello from the Republic of Srpska. Gosh, my goodness, where is that in the world? I'm embarrassed to say I don't know. Just subscribe for me. All right, guys, we'll be on soon. Stand by. Here we go. Radio Jingles. Hello to you. I'm Mike Russell here from musicradiocreative.com. It is my great pleasure to be here with you. And I'm live right now bringing you kind of Music Radio Creative Live. And what we do on this stream, if it's your first time here, is we get into the nitty-gritty of audio production. We delve deep into things like Adobe Audition, which in my opinion is a world-class, the best in its class audio editor. And the reason why, because I get asked that question a lot, Mike, why do you think Adobe Audition is the best? You know, why don't you use something like Pro Tools, or why aren't you into Steinberg's Cubase? The reason is, well, first and foremost, I've used it since it was around as Cool Edit Pro and went through all of the Adobe 1.5, 3, 5.5, 6, and so on. But I think not only the effects and the noise reduction in there, but I actually think your ability to edit a waveform, as in particular as a jingle producer, is second to none. I mean, just let's go into the screen share for a second, and let me click over to, as you can see, I've got a big session open now. But if I double click into the waveform view, tell me about another audio editor that gives you this kind of fine-grained detail of getting in and just choosing which parts of the wave you want to edit, and if there's a little poppy sound. I know most audio editors can do that, but just Adobe Audition is intuitive for this kind of thing. So that's why I use it. The multi-track is cool and very colorful. And also one of my big things, which might not be a big thing for everyone, is the dark scheme. I mean, the dark scheme is fantastic. So many audio editors these days are all light and white and shades of light grey, and I just like working, you know, I use my OBS broadcaster to do this live stream, and the moment I downloaded that, I switched that over to dark mode too. I just love that kind of feel, but I know that's a very personal preference. So anyway, we're going to be using Adobe Audition a lot to go through and make radio jingles today. So I'm going to explain to you a bit of my process. I'm going to show you through some of the effects I'm using. I've got here loaded my Adobe Audition presets, but I've also popped in a few other tracks. We're trying out a few other effects, and you know, as it's you and me, I think today maybe we'll just delve into trying some other stuff that I haven't tried before today. Hello to you. If you're in the live chat, by the way, do keep the comments coming in over there. So excited to have you, especially if you're a new arrival. And I do see that there are some new arrivals to the live stream today. So do make yourself known in the chat and ask a question. Ask away. If you've got any questions as we go along, I'll definitely get to your questions. I do mention the chat every 15 minutes during the show. So in about 13 minutes' time, we'll look at the first comments coming in and I'll respond to you. So that would be absolutely fantastic. And just before we get into the actual audio editing bit and I get started, I just wanted to promote the Mike Russell VIP channel, which is here. So just recently started launching daily content on that channel. Now, this is a paid channel on YouTube. For those of you that haven't seen it, you don't have to subscribe to it. I'm not forcing you to do it, but I'd really love you if you did. And it would help to support the show. It's just another way you can contribute, and you can get exclusive content that you won't see anywhere else that I do for my VIP subscribers. I create a Mike's Minute in Adobe Audition that goes out daily on that channel, and as you can see, recently, the last few days, we've been covering audio compression in detail. So where I spend like an hour talking about things and throwing out ideas, I kind of take my best tips and distill them down into 1-minute videos, and then I put them onto the Mike Russell VIP channel. Because I know, well, I really appreciate you being here for the stream or listening to the podcast after the event, and I know you're dedicating your time to me, so I appreciate that. But I know we all live busy lives, and sometimes we just want to know how to do something, like how to set a compressor, what is FFT, you know, how do I generate noise, what kind of noise should I generate, what's a ring modulator, why should I use it, what frequency should I set it to? So 1-minute videos like that over there on Mike Russell VIP. Subscribe now, lots of new content coming there, and the price is going up this coming Monday, the 24th of July, okay? So I'd love you if you're considering it and it's available in your region, because from what I understand, YouTube paid channels aren't available in every country, then I would love you if you would subscribe to it. Really easy link to get there actually is MikeRussellVIP.com, MikeRussellVIP.com. That will just bounce you straight over to the YouTube page, and I believe there is a possibility to click Start Free Trial, and it's all through Google, so they allow you to have 14 days for free, so you can decide decide if it's something you want to stay. So I just encourage you to subscribe for that 14 days anyway, if it's available in your region, and before the price goes up this coming Monday, so you can test it out and see if it's for you. If it's not for you, no hard feelings, click unsubscribe. Google won't even notify me that you did, so you don't have to be all embarrassed. So yeah, go over there, MikeRussellVIP.com, and click Start Free Trial today. Right, okay. This is a session that I did actually play on a previous live stream. It's for a radio station in Rwanda in Africa, a hip music radio station, playing some really funky tunes, and I did create some fantastic little idents introducing the kind of music they play, stuff like this.
Way more music. Way more music.
It's your favorite song.
Let's go.
I open over for the tag. More hit music.
Right here on 98.7 KFM.
And don't worry about that little jump in the middle of playing that jingle back to you. That's because I was selecting something in real time, and it didn't like me doing that while it was playing back. So let's bring this over to a new area, because what I'm going to do is remix this with some new songs. I'm actually going to take out all the music from my music tracks over here, and I'll skip you through what I've got on each track. So up here on the top track, I've got voice processed.
Way more music.
So that's
Way more music.
way more music, and
More hit music.
that's our voice artist from Music Radio Creative called Mima. So what have I done to her? Well, if we hop into the effects rack here, you can see it's my standard Music Radio Creative stuff that I've covered in previous streams. First of all, I'm de-essing her to make sure no sibilance there. Scientific filter. That knocks off the bass rumbles. Then I've got a bit of dynamics processing, speech volume leveler to whack up the sound on the audio, hard limiting, and then a bit of parametric EQ before it hits the voice bus, which is down here, voice FX. And I've got another process, studio reverb and analog delay going on. And the voice effects bus is happening to all of these voice tracks that I've got here. Okay, so all the tracks that I've just highlighted for those of you watching right now, all of those tracks right there, those are the vocal tracks, and they are all routed through to a voice FX bus that does the... well, let me show you what it does. So if I just solo Mima for a second and play her with the analog delay,
Way more music.
if I take that off,
Way more music.
you lose that kind of...
Way more music.
There's kind of little echo at the end of her voice. So analog delay I've set up with just about 10% of dry out. If I whack that up,
Way more music.
you'll hear what that effect is doing.
Way more music.
So it's giving that kind of very contemporary sound to the jingles. The dry is on 70% as well. Delay at 160 milliseconds, and then I've got feedback, trash, and spread to just give a unique sound to that. Studio reverb. This is a good way to set up studio reverb. Room size is huge.
Way more music.
Now, for these new ones, actually, if I take analog delay off and focus on the studio reverb, let's turn the wet up so you can hear it.
Way more music.
What I might do is reduce the room size. So for these next jingles that I'm going to create, and I'm actually going to resave this session so I don't overwrite what I've done, and I'll call this bonuses, because I'm making some bonus jingles today. And I'm going to reduce the size of the room, so let's make it to 40.
Way more music.
So you can go from, this is a very 80s or 90s style reverb.
Way more music.
That huge room, can you hear the huge room as you pump the studio reverb up to 100? And if I take it down to 20, we'll get something kind of like a reverb you hear on rap vocals.
Way more music.
It's kind of quite tight.
Way more music.
That's all I need. Decays very quickly as well. The decay is there at 3,500 milliseconds, which is okay. No early reflections. It's a very wide reverb in terms of width, meaning stereo sound to it. If I bring it down here, we get a kind of mono reverb.
Way more music.
If you're listening in stereo, you can probably hear the reverb in the center right now. Kind of feels like the reverb's inside your brain, but I like 100 for imaging. High frequency cut. I definitely cut off a lot of the high frequencies because otherwise it goes all wispy. Have a listen.
Way more music.
There's a lot of wispiness there, so I take it down.
Way more music.
to focus on that 1 kilohertz kind of frequency around where the voice is, basically. And we got low frequency cut, not much going on there, bit of damping and diffusion. I'm putting out the dry, and I can probably take the wet down a bit now.
Way more music.
And we'll leave it there, and then switch the analog delay back on.
Way more music.
And then I do have a mastering effect that's currently disabled, but this is something you'll find radio jingle producers do all the time, and that is adding exciter to their audio. And what the exciter does is basically distorts and kind of crispies up the treble. Let me just apply some of that now.
Way more music.
And make sure it's switched on.
Way more music.
So maybe you can hear the difference, particularly if I go up to 82%.
Way more music.
Compared to this,
Way more music.
which is kind of a very flat sound. So we go from a flat sound to a
Way more music.
nice sound, probably a bit too much of the exciter.
Way more music.
And then let's bring everything in that we have here now on the track. Now that I've broken down how I'm processing a voice here.
Way more music.
So we've got that bit of the jingle and
Way more music.
that bit as well. I'm going to mix up all the vocal effects so we get something different. These voice cuts are really good. I'm just taking out all my sound effects so I can basically start fresh but use the same voice session. These way more music bits are really good for looping between different songs, different tracks, or doing a mini music mix.
Way more music.
So I've kind of synced up Robin and Mima there. Robin, by the way, excellent voice artist at Music Radio Creative 2 that I'm working with.
Way more music.
Now, what I might do is I might mix it up and make it into something where we have this in the center. I'm just moving the pan now into the center on all of these, because at first I did a little pan. Let's just get close in on this and bring that up to there, and this can go over to there, into the center. So we're keeping things nice and centralized. So we start off with Robin.
Way more music.
And then Mima.
Way more music.
And then
Way more music.
I like that one so much that I'm going to pop open a new track here. Let's get a new stereo track. And actually, you'll see I've done some time stretching on this. Can you see that 149%? Just the way he says it. Let's put it to 100% and listen to the original.
Way more music.
Put it back into the original effect.
Way more music.
So that's the original.
Way.
Now, what I could do is a bit of vocal synth on this.
Way more music.
Now, you'll notice when I put it onto that track, it drops because I'm not routing it yet through my voice effects bus. So let's do that.
Way.
And then the MRC presets here to pump it up a bit.
Way more music.
And what I really want to do with this is stretch this out like crazy. So if you time stretch too much in Adobe Audition, you get this wonderful sound. It's kind of like digital glitching.
Way more music.
And we might need to just make the transition there a little bit smoother. So I'm going to take this and time stretch that a little bit too. Or not too much, though. A bit like that. Wait, more music.
More music.
Maybe we want to do a little bit of fading there, so it's not too... sometimes you get pops when we don't fade properly.
More music.
More music. I kind of want that more to merge in a little bit more.
More music. More music.
Let's drag that in a bit, trying to get the perfect transition.
More music.
So something like that.
Way more music.
And don't worry about that yet, because it's not perfect, but I'm going to drag in something to work with. Who shall we go with? Who shall we go with? I'm really liking this track at the moment. It's quite hot. It's quite hot. Let's find a part of this track. I love the synth on the Coldplay Chainsmokers track. Oh, I want something just like this. What about this bit? This. Trying to find a good part of the song. This is another thing with when you're making radio jingles, you need to find the right part of the song to work with. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's where we want to go from. So I want to pop that in to my little music imager over here that I am creating. By the way, getting to your comments in 1 minute. So post now in the comments if you want to get a shout out or you want to ask a question or anything like that, and I will get to them. Now, what I'm going to do, I want this to start on the more bit there. So let's see. I'm kind of doing this mix in reverse, actually. So we got a beat there. Okay, cool. And I just want to mark where the beats are at the moment for the time being before I go back to Robin's voice. And the levels aren't quite right. What I might do is turn the volume down on this so I can hear what I'm doing. Because we can always get the levels right after the event. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, that's enough. Let's take that marker away. And I want to go halfway through there, halfway through a beat there, and halfway through a beat, and then we've got, actually, that's not quite halfway. I'm not being so accurate, I'm not measuring times here, but I'm kind of trying to get as accurate as I can with my timing. Sometimes a bit of, you know, swing is not too bad in your timings. So I'm thinking something like this. Okay, I'm going to make it go faster as we go along and just see how this sounds. Do-do. So that's kind of how you get that glitchy kind of but on the beat sound. And I'm gradually going to make it faster and faster. And again, I'm not doing this accurately by using rulers and measurements. I'm literally doing this by eye to create something exciting. And if it doesn't work, I can just go back and start again. Now, I notice those are actually too short to be noticeable there. So we've got something like this.
More music.
So, yeah, it's not quite perfect at the moment. We'll get back to it in a minute. First of all, let me say hello to you on the live stream. This is where I like to get your comments every 15 minutes. I see Joe's over there on Facebook. Can you show me how to use the pan feature? Couldn't find it the other day. Oh, I can show you that right now, actually, on this bit. So I'm answering your questions. Just post them up there, and I'll get to as many as I can. If I can do it in 2 minutes, I'll show you on the live stream. But if not, maybe the best place is to go to mrc.fm/community and post it on our community board where others will help you as well. So panning is here. It's just there inside the waveform. It's the blue line, and panning it up to the top is L 100, left 100%, and right 100%. You can make sure it's enabled by twirling down this triangle here, and you can see other effects that you can have, but the pan is currently active. If I click on the volume, then you'll see it says volume up there, okay? So I just work with the pan there. You can also do it on this knob here, stereo balance. So this should go from right to left now in our ears. And I might actually stereo pan this glitch as well. So let's do that. So thank you, Joe, on Facebook Live for asking that.
More music.
So that's how you do that. Thanks for posting the link to the community forums, by the way, and just generally keeping Facebook going, Joe. Really appreciate that. So over here in live chat, sorry if I can't get to everyone. I'll do my best to mention as much as possible. Savoy, 1984, heard of Signal Radio in Stoke? Yes, absolutely. Bojan Caddo Bell is cracking jokes, clearly there. Let me actually go through in order, otherwise it's going to be hard to keep up with everything that's coming in. So in order from the start, we have, wow, Dejan says, Republika Srpska is one of the 2 constitutional and legal entities of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So it's lovely to have you watching the stream from there today. Phil Presenter is in from Darlington, UK. We got Vixum, who's 16 years old. Welcome to the stream, and I really hope you enjoy it. Peter is in there from Poland. We got Don, who doesn't like dark interfaces on audio editors. Bruce Wayne, Mike, what's the best non-professional microphone? A non-professional microphone. My goodness. Well, depends what for. If you're podcasting and you're in the US, then the Audio-Technica Audio-Technica ATR 2100. That's the one. And there's some equivalent here in the UK, but it slips in my mind. I think it's a Samson C something. But yeah, non-professional. Don't know why you'd want to be non-professional. Is it for podcasting? Heil PR40 is good. That's around $300 to $400 pounds and dollars, though. What else have we got? Please share this on social if you think someone would enjoy watching this stream right now. Mike, is it best to record vocals in mono or stereo? I've seen you use both. Yeah, a lot of our voice artists record in mono and some record in stereo. I prefer mono just because it's half the file size. Doesn't really make a difference at all unless the voiceover has a wonky setup and they're kind of panned like that. So you get a half panned over to the left or half panned over to the right audio, and then probably just drop it into mono. But when I go into the multi-track, I do stereo effects on the voice anyway. The Mike Russell Minute. Yeah, that's what's happening on Mike Russell VIP, by the way. If you want to get the Mike's Minute in Adobe Audition every single day delivered to you, subscribe, start your free trial with Mike Russell VIP. Easy link to get there is just mikerussellvip.com, and then you can go and start your free trial there. The subscription price per month will be going up this Monday, the 24th of July. So if it is available to you in your region, definitely subscribe before this coming Monday if you're watching or listening before that price goes up, and get some free content every single day on the newly refreshed Mike Russell VIP. Unfortunately, Alvaro can't subscribe in Istanbul. That's a shame. We'll have to work something out for you if you're in a region where you can't subscribe to the channel. So leave that one with me. Good morning to Bob from Springfield, Ohio, USA. Lovely to have you here for the first time. Wonderful. And radio jingles are great, aren't they? Bojan, do you all have some clicking sound? No clicking sound here. Vendel Voices, thanks for your uploads, learning a lot of great stuff. Keep it up. Joe, thank you for welcoming Bob as well. How does Adobe Audition compare to other editors when it comes to hogging space on your computer? Ooh, I don't know. I've never looked at the size of Adobe Audition on my computer, but I don't think it's too big. Although the answer is, Patrick, I don't know, but I'd like to find out. I'd actually like to find out, so I'm going to write that down in my book of things to do. Size of Audition. Yeah, now are we talking in terms of hard disk or RAM that it takes up? Because I guess there is a difference, isn't there? I mean, if I don't know if I can actually see. Let's see, how would I find this out? If I wanted to know how much RAM I'm using on my Audition, it's currently taking up 2.9% of my CPU, and yeah, I don't really know what else it's doing. But if I just drag that off the screen for a moment and try and play something, we'll see whether it spikes my memory or CPU. So, I can tell you it's taking 880 megabytes of RAM right now. Which isn't too bad for me, seeing as I have 32 gigabytes in this iMac. So definitely not going to run out using Adobe Audition. If I start playing something, I wonder whether the usage will go up.
Hey, more music.
Okay, yeah, so I see, yeah, Audition spikes up. It actually, yeah, it went up to, 119% of my CPU when I played back. So, yes, the answer is it is quite intensive, although I've got OBS running at 72% CPU usage, and OBS is actually taking up 1.3 gigabytes of RAM. So that kind of answers the question about Audition, but I'd love to know how other DAWs compare. I mean, you get what you pay for in terms of, not financially, but in terms of memory, I guess. I'm sure something like Audacity would probably use less memory, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily better. Leonardo, thank you for yesterday's live. Helped me a lot. Hi from Luxembourg. Nice to see you there. Arginus, greetings from Venezuela. Isabella's in, moderating, which is really, really nice. Don't use USB mics, says Cato. Yeah, it's a good point, unless you absolutely have to. Geordie, which compressor do you prefer? I need one to make radio, DBX286S or Behringer MDX 4600. I use the DBX 286S, and that's the one I use and recommend. I'm using it right now, and I love it. But I've had good experience with Behringer. I'm not a fan of their mixing desks. Sorry, but I've never really got on with the Behringer mixing desks. I've got a Soundcraft mixing desk. Although I will say their Behringer effects racks are brilliant. I used to work with them in radio, and they were just great. So maybe their compressors are pretty good. Actually, back in the 90s, I was using a Behringer compressor in radio, and it worked really well. Bojan's got a couple of ATR 2100 USBs, and they work good. They're good for podcasting. DJ Arad, greetings from Israel. Lovely to have you there. The Bulldog Gamer, Savoy. What is better, Paul Hardcastle's 19 or Mars Pump Up the Volume? Oh, well, for me, it has to be. This is great. What a random question. Sorry, we're going a little off topic. I will get back to the jingle in a minute. But for me, it's definitely, although it's a very sad topic, of course, but Paul Hardcastle's 19. No, 19. My goodness. The just production on that track is amazing. Yes. Hello from Essex in the UK to Travis. Lewis has got a DBX. Yep, it's brilliant. And a Eurorack mixing desk. Have to check that out. Don, it's about how the memory is used rather than how. Well, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Couldn't agree with you more on that, Don. Do make sure, by the way, you join up to our community, because I see a lot of new names and faces in the chat today. So if you want to ask all these questions and get answers, the best place to do it is at the link I'm posting now, mrc.fm/community, mrc.fm/community, where we just have a ton of stuff going on. Actually, if I hop over there now, well, I already have it open in another tab, but you can see a lot of stuff going on in there right now. We created a category for the live shows, but I'm sure there's going to be more categories to come very soon. And if we click to top, we can see some of the top topics going on. Someone's wondering if anyone's still using Audition 3.0. That's our hottest topic at the moment. Useful show links is another hot topic. How to set up your folder organization. I'm actually going to be covering that on another live stream soon. Best mixing desk for a home studio. Best microphone for YouTube. A list of where to find music beds. So you can see it's kind of turning into an audio producer's almanac, if you like. So it's a place to go. mrc.fm/community. Right, I'm just going to chop up Robin a little bit here so we get it into the vocals.
More music.
Now we need to get something that sounds good. Maybe I'm just going to take the time stretch down on that a little bit.
Hey, more music.
So that's getting closer to where I want it to be.
Hey, more music.
And then we want to just bring that song in like this.
More music.
Bit too much of an increase in volume.
Hey, more music.
Okay, that's good. For some reason, I just need to take the volume down on that a little bit. And now I was thinking of putting another thing in on this track, seeing as we got the space and possibility. One of my favorite premium plugins is Isotope Vocal Synth. And we can put this in. Here I'm just changing the pitch correction to a C note. Now we need to bring in the Polyvox.
Hey, more music.
And actually, it might be worth to bring the whole track in there. So let's bring it into the Polyvox. So let's listen to that now.
Hey, more music.
Now I notice there's a bit of clipping where I've done that funky panning effect, so I'm just going to put some nice envelopes on this bit, and then I'm going to work a bit more on the rest of the music in here. So we'll do that and that and that, and you can bring in all kinds of different effects to make this sound cool.
Hey, more music.
And let's go for a different preset here. Let's see what we've got here. Basic syntax, maybe.
More music. More music. More music.
Turn that down a bit, I think.
More music.
Turn that up.
More music. More music. More music.
Maybe a little bit on the vocoder as well.
More music.
So we've got something like that, and then as I've got the beats marked here, we're at 571 and 287. If I was to put some echo in, something really cool actually I'm going to be covering on my channel very soon is Apple make their own audio units if you're on Mac OS, and they've actually got some pretty cool stuff in here. If you've never played with Apple audio units, they all work inside Audition. So the delay I find is good because you can visually see what you're doing here for delay. So I said 571, didn't I? 57. And then, so now I've picked, actually no, not 571. I want 268. Let's go for 268. So once you find what you want, so 26 there, then I can choose how much feedback I want on this echo. So that's going to echo on the beat now. So we've got a little bit of a... Now I just need to drag that up to the top of my chain and see if that makes a difference. So that's a bit loud. Let's bring that down in the mix. It's gone very funky now. Maybe if I take that off for a moment. Yeah, maybe I'm going to keep that that Apple delay off as much as I wanted to use it. Oh no, I know why it is. Hang on. Let's bring this up in the mix again. Set delay time of 0.26 seconds and turn the wet down. That should make a difference. Now let's take that down a bit more. Just a subtle echo there from the Apple delay. And we can probably pop a little bit of EQ on here, so why not? Let's do that. Parametric on the music. Okay, let's listen to how that's sounding now and then bring something else in. Okay, so I think we've done enough work on that right now. I'm going to stick in another tune on the playlist of this radio station and drag that down. And I'm sure you will recognize this one. We want to go... So we'll take that, and I think that is going to be a good hook to take. Let's pop that in and see if we can make this sound good.
Just wanna be part of your symphony.
Way more music.
Way more music.
Okay.
More music.
So we want to just check out the beats on this. So.
Part of your symphony. We hold
Okay, gonna do a kind of false ending on this. And as you can hear, there's just a tiny bit there of reverb, but I need to add in something that is really going to make this merge nicely. So track, add a stereo track, and then we'll bring this down onto the stereo track like so. And then we're going to go for, let's take that off solo for a second. Going to go for a nice amount of reverb, and we'll go for, let's go for full reverb here. Takes time to render. We'll get there. Go on, render.
Music.
Way more music.
So we've got the full reverb on that track. So let's bring that over here and have a listen to how it sounds. Takes time to render, so I'm going to pre-render this in a second.
Way more music.
Way more music.
Okay, so you can hear clearly now how that is ending on that track. I'm going to pre-render this now. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here ages. So kind of that big bassy sound. So like a kind of reverb ending to that. Let's just click the lightning bolt there, and that'll pre-render it, make things a bit faster. Okay. So we've got this. Waiting for it to finish pre-rendering. Nearly done. Give it a second.
Music.
So let's bring this down in the mix.
Way more music.
Turn that down in the mix. Still can go further down. And now we need to start bringing in some imaging effects. Let's see what we've got. It'd be nice if I can fit that to the beat of that track. Like this. And that volume is going to need to go down on the sound effects. Now, I just wonder if we can do
More music.
symphony. I quite like the way that comes in. Just thinking on the fly here.
Way more music.
So obviously we'll want to line this up properly now. So let's get... and actually I'm doing a funny thing because I'm building this jingle backwards.
Way more music.
I just wanna be part of your
So what we need is a whoosh in. Actually, I'll show you something now. We'll just do something like this a lot of times and create a new session for it. Have you ever done this as an imaging producer before? Okay. Yeah. I know. Doesn't seem so silly when no one else is watching, right? Now I'm going to create a brand new multi-track. I'm going to call it Image Element. Sometimes I like to do this. Rather than searching through the library to find the exact sound I want, sometimes I just make my own. So let's just do this, and then this, and this. Oh, by the way, I'm going to mention your comments again in around, where are we now? 37. So we'll go for about 8 minutes before I get back to the comments. So do post any questions you have, and I will answer them. Or if you just simply want to say hello and where you're watching from, that's also very cool. I'm just really, really grateful that you spend some of your day with me. Okay. Let's add some stuff to this. Make it sound silly. Right, what do I want here? Let's look for something really cool. Might not be available to me in the multi-track. Might need to go over here. I want to take one of these effects and do something silly with it. Right, this one here. And we'll go into Special, Doppler Shifter. The Jet preset is a good one to start from. Let's just bring this down, maybe quite significantly down. And then I'm going to go into this. Now what I want to do is add some phasing. I'm doing this destructively, by the way. That's quite cool. That's even cooler. I like that one. And we'll go here. This is kind of like white noise. So again, we'll go in and chorus flanger this one. Let's see what we can get. And then what I'm going to do is run this one through vocal synth. Let's find that. Or actually, no, I'll use a free plugin. I'll use the ring modulator on this one. So this is a free plugin. If you want to grab this, go to mrc.fm/ring modulator. mrc.fm/ring modulator. It's free from Melda Production. I can't say that in so long I have found such a great plugin for free. This is just brilliant, the things that this one can do. Let's see what we can get. That's cool. Okay, and now I'm going to compress the hell out of it. Effects, amplitude and compression, single band compressor here. And let's see in the preview window what we're doing. Threshold right down. Push that threshold down. There we go. Ratio right up. Doesn't matter, it's not a voiceover. We can do what we like with this. Turn it up, the output gain. Let's play with those attack and release times. Yeah, we want to keep the attack tight. Okay. Let's see what we've got in multi-track now. Oh, I just moved something around. That's why that's out of sync now. And then left, right, left, right. Bring that down in the mix. And then we're going to do some EQing on each track as well. I always go to the parametric EQ because it's so good. Trying to make it sound less human-like now. There will be a final touch that I'll do. Again, we'll go into this one. Another cool effect you can use, probably not what it's intended for, but the notch filter can make some cool sounds. So this is it on default. You should hear nothing. And then if I start using some of the harmonics here, if we pick the right one, let's go for a C major chord. I add some kind of music there because it's bringing up certain frequencies like dreamy. There we go. Ice cream truck. Can you hear the tingles going on there in the background? So let's keep that in, see what we've got. And then finally we're going to take all of those and we're going to route them into a bus. We'll call this a stereo bus here, and this can be FX mix. And then on this one, I might apply something overall, like a tiny bit of vocal synth to this. And actually, I'm going to use another isotope plugin in a second, because isotope make good stuff. Let's go for pop. And, right, we need to route those all through, don't we? So, bus, FX mix, bus, FX mix, bus, FX mix. Getting to your comments in 1 minute. So, quite like that. I'm going to bounce that to a new track. No, that's not what I wanted. I want to get that to a new track. Like so. Oh, it didn't get everything in the bus. Let me try it again. Bounce a new track, time selection. That's more like it. And then I am going to take those off the bus for the moment, because I've achieved what I wanted there. And finally, okay, now we've got that, and we've got the other mixes here. Actually, I do want it going to master. And let's bring this one to the master too, and this one to the master, and this one. Some really cool effects going on there. So let's mix that down and pull that in as a kind of opener. Now don't worry about the distortion there, because normalization in 32-bit means we don't get any distortion. And we'll go finally and put another EQ pass over it. Again, we're going for parametric here, and let's see what works. Okay, and let's pull that in now to actually our other session that we're working on. So we want to go back to the other multi-track session, which is around here. And we'll bring in that imaging element mix down here and pop it in on a track somewhere. So we've got something now that can work out for us like this.
Way more music. Way more music.
Just wanna be part of your symphony.
More music.
Way more music.
Just wanna be part of your symphony.
More music.
Okay, we're getting to the last 13 minutes of the show right now. Let's have a look at what we've got going on in the chat. Very, very welcoming your lovely comments here in the chat, and it's always good to see so much interaction. If I can't get to everything, please do go over and post it on our community forums, which you can find right here. The short link to get there is mrc.fm/community. And by the way, today, tomorrow, and over the weekend, it's your final chance to join Mike Russell VIP before the price goes up this Monday, as there's now daily content coming out on that channel exclusively for VIP subscribers. If it's available in your region, go ahead, subscribe, start the free trial for 14 days, and get in before the price goes up this Monday. The quick link to get over there is MikeRussellVIP.com. That is MikeRussellVIP.com. Over in the chat, oh, Geordie's saying the DBX is hard to get at the moment in Europe. Long delivery times. That's a shame. Yeah, that is a shame. I think I did see one on Amazon the other day. I don't know if they still have any DBX. Let me have a look. DBX 286S. That's the mic preamp and processor that I use. Let me have a look. It's on for £199. Available from independent sellers. One new available. It's not on Amazon Prime. And it's 40 quid delivery? No. Don't get it for that. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, you never know. Maybe that's just an old model. Maybe they're reeling that one in. I have had that for about 5 years now, and it served me well. I see when I type DBX into Amazon, another model comes up, the 266XS, which I'm seeing is £94 and available on Amazon Prime. I can have it tomorrow. I'm just looking at it, though. The only thing with the 266S is it has a compressor and an expander gate, but it doesn't have all the other cool features that the 286S has. So you can, if you want a gate to filter out any noise, and if you want a compressor to make your voice sound a little more audible, then that would be the processor for you, possibly. But on my 286S, I've got drive and diversity on the compressor. I've got a de-esser built in, which you haven't got on the 266XS. I've got an enhancer, so I can enhance my low and high frequencies, and an expander gate all built into that one rack. And I think the other difference is you can only put one input in and out of the 286S, whereas the 266XS seems to allow two inputs. So, I mean, if you're a podcaster and you're not worried about EQ because you've got it on your mixing desk, 266XS could be a reasonable alternative. And I can see we've just had a super chat. Amazing. Thank you so much, Luis Riviera. I need to get a notebook and make some notes. That's really cool. Yeah, definitely do it. Do it. Get one of these. This is what I have here. A rather glamorous 2017. Let me show you that in full screen for you. A rather glamorous, rather nice, oh, there it is, 2017 journal. I try to journal as much as I can, and yeah, that's where I stick all my notes, and it's currently full of stuff to do. So thank you, Lewis. Really appreciate that that super chat there. Like I say, I'm not going to get to all these comments, but do go over to the community forums and post what you can. My favourite vocal effects is a whistled hum. Don. Nella Arabab says, what's the difference between using effects from the top menu of the effects rack? Oh, okay, if you're in Adobe Audition. Well, if you're in the top bit, you're kind of... Let me show you, actually, if I go into my screen share. So if I select here, effects and modulation chorus, that's going to apply it into my effects rack for my currently highlighted track. So really there's no difference in the multi-track because the same thing, it's the same difference, it's inserting it on a track. Whereas there is a difference if you're in the waveform view. So here on this little sound effect I made, if I go to effects and I want to do something like a phaser on it, yeah, and I choose a preset like Z Leplin, yeah, and I apply that, that's now done destructively to my audio. Whereas if I go to the effects rack over here and I say I'm going to have modulation and I'm going to have phaser, the Z Leplin preset, I can cross out of that. That's now applied to my preview, but then I can add something else, like I can use the amplify effect. Don't usually use this one, just to turn it down because I can see it's peaking over 0 dB. So that's another one. So I'm like building up a chain on my waveform over here. So that's a way of adding multiple effects, kind of non-destructively in the waveform view. Then I want, oh, I didn't add reverb to my sound design. I should have done that. Why was I not thinking about reverb? Let's go for, actually, I'll go for studio reverb. So again, I'm putting 3 effects now into my chain. Studio reverb, we're going to go for vocal reverb large. And then that's, as you can see, 3 effects layering up there, but they're not applied, and I can switch them on and off like I can in the multi-track, and you can see they make a difference. They don't apply destructively to your waveform until you click this button here, apply or render the effects in the rack to the file. Do that, boom, file has changed forever, unless, of course, you hit Command-Z, undo, and then you get it back. Who knew that the whole time this is how Mike makes effects? It's not the way to make the effects, by the way. It's a way. And I will be doing a stream soon in Logic Pro showing you how to use synths and stuff like that to make really cool sound design. I mean, that's the sound designer's blag there. You make vocal effects into a microphone. What else have we got here? No more butter jokes, says David. In the chat. Hi, David. Tiggy the Tiger. I will have to save this to bookmarks to watch when I have my studio. I've been trying ways to make jingles, and it's a great tutorial. Thanks, Tiggy the Tiger. And I haven't seen your face in the chat before, so really appreciate you being there. How do I get a ticket to ride the bus? Buses are great in Adobe Audition. Mr. Mega Radio UK, I am having a creative afternoon with Adobe CC. I'm using Adobe Audition and Adobe After Effects. Very nice indeed. What else have we got here? Dijon, you have DBX in Music Store in Cologne. Wow, so that's cool. So they're available in Germany. Hello to Hassan from Norway. Kevin says, good videos, enjoyable. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. So we've got 6 minutes left together. Let's do some more to this radio jingle that I'm creating. Let's add the station ident here.
Way more music.
Just wanna be part of your symphony.
More music.
Now, I'm just wondering, with Robin's voice, I might double track that so it's a little more audible, because I don't think we can hear him very well at the moment.
More music.
Okay, so that's good. So now we get the glitchy effect in the background, and his voice comes into the forefront there. So let's have a listen now.
Way more music.
Just wanna be part of your symphony.
More music.
And then what have we got here?
More hit music.
Right here on 98.
Let's cut that stutter out.
More hit music.
Right here on 98.7 KFM.
And on these two tracks here, I'm ring modulating both of these tracks. So let's solo them out.
It's music on 98.7
And this bit.
KFM.
So ring modulation, different types. So with this one, I got that kind of looking a wave, and I'm right down on a really low frequency of 28 hertz there. Whereas on this one, I'm ring modulating with a wobbly frequency, and you can do this by just changing the main shape here on this this free plugin, which you can get at mrc.fm/ring modulator, completely free, excellent addition to Adobe Audition if you're in imaging. mrc.fm/ring modulator, and the frequency is more around the mid ranges there. You can do some really cool imaging effects with a ring modulator. So then we've got this.
More hit music.
Right here on 98.7 KFM. KFM.
I'm going to take that last KFM off, and I'm going to probably bring this in a little bit here. Let's have a listen. Play.
More hit music.
Right here on 98.
Let's listen to the whole thing.
More music.
More hit music.
Right here on 98.7 KFM.
Let's add in some other effects. That's a nice little stab there, isn't it? It could be good for the end. So we want to just get this in at the right place. Just here.
0.7 KFM.
Or maybe at the end.
0.7 KFM.
Yeah, we want to get that on the beat. Hang on, let me zoom in a little bit there. So right on his M, we want the last final stab there, really.
7 KFM.
Okay, and that's the point where I'm going to completely cut the music track at the end. Let's make a cut instead. Command K. Boom, done.
98.7 KFM.
Okay, nice ending there, and we'll find some effects with tails here. See what we've got available to use. That's a nice one for the end bit. Let's put that in.
More hit music.
Right here on 98.7 KFM.
I don't like the way that effect is coming in. Let me just fade it in like that.
98.7 KFM.
So it's kind of a hard stab out. I don't need the initial bit. If you listen to the effect here, if I play it in its entirety, it's got that, which I don't need. So if I fade it in nicely, we just want to kind of like that. So that should do. So now we've got this at the end.
More hit music.
Right here on 98.7 KFM.
Yeah, we could use that somewhere probably.
More hit music.
Right here.
So as we transition from Mimer into Robin, we probably want to use something like that.
More hit music.
Right here on 98.
It's a bit lost in the mix, that one.
More hit music.
Right here.
Let's just take the last bit of it.
More hit music.
Right here on 90.
Hit music.
Right here on 98.7 KFM.
Maybe one more. Maybe. Let's try that for the KFM bit.
98.7 KFM.
Oh, I know what we've done. We've messed up that one. Let's do that. Okay. So here we go in full effect. Sounds like this.
Way more music.
Just wanna be part of your symphony.
Hey, more music.
More hit music.
Right here on 98.7 KFM.
And of course, we could hop in and add some final mastering to that to pump that up even more. Might not want to add too much compression if it's going on the air. Thank you for all your comments today. Really, really appreciate them on the live stream. Remember, you can join us off the air when we're not live over at mrc.fm/community. Really encourage you to go there and check out the community and sign up and make your first post. Introduce yourself. Ask a question. It'd be lovely to see you there. We're live every weekday, Monday to Friday from 2 p.m. UK time. Really do hope you can join me again. Thanks so much for watching this session about Radio Jingles, and I'll be back tomorrow from the same time, so I'll see you then.